So I'm in my accountability era. I think we all need to be held accountable for our actions. I think right now is a time where everyone is trying to find someone to blame and shift blame, but nobody is calling out those who are responsible. And that's important. Like, accountability is very important, because getting sidetracked and like it's all what they call smoke screens.
My thing is, why everybody want black people to step in like we the only people of color now? Everybody was just minorities and people of color yesterday. Why y'all just want us to help?
Down south wasn't the only place that drove out black people from certain areas just because they were black. That happened in Los Angeles too. Boyle Heights. See, they bombed housing developments with black families in them. And if you don't know what a housing development is, it's basically the projects. A row of apartments all in a certain section. And they firebombed these apartments because of black families being there. Just simply race motivated, race driven.
Black people in LA, mind your business. Black people in LA, mind your business. This don't got nothing to do with us. ICE and the National Guard being in LA has nothing to do with us. I don't understand rallying behind a whole bunch of people that hard ER you.
Hey, let's be real for a minute. This ain't gonna be a sugar-coated conversation. What we're about to unpack is heavy, not just politically, but emotionally, culturally, and historically. Because right now, we're seeing something wild unfold in real time. Latino communities across America are starting to realize that this house is on fire. ICE raids are ramping up. Project 2025 is no longer some obscure white paper. It's a blueprint being followed step by step. And suddenly, many Latino folks are turning to Black Americans asking, "Can you protest with us?" But here's the thing many black people are saying, nah, we good. Not out of hatred, not out of spite, but out of memory, out of reality, out of historical receipts. And if you stick with me for the next few minutes, we're going to break this all the way down. So grab your tea, your cafecito, whatever keeps you grounded, because this conversation is long overdue.
Why is nobody else protesting with us? We're not the only immigrants. Latinos are not the only immigrants. There's Europeans, there's from Africa, there's from Asia, there's from all over. Where are you guys at? Why are your people not standing with us? I know you don't want to call it upon you guys, but why are we alone in this? Go look at the videos of the protests that are going on. We are fucking alone. It's all brown-skinned people. Where are all the other races? You guys post all these fucking videos about it, but you guys ain't doing nothing with us. Where are you guys? Why are we alone? We support everything when it comes to you guys. We are always there for you. And this is why we Latinos are just different. We're different in everything. We're different the way we work. We're different with our morals. We're just different. This is why we're so hated, because nobody will ever be like us, because we are always there when people need us. But look at right now. We're so fucking alone, and we're still fucking standing strong. I think I've never been so proud of being a fucking immigrant Latina in the USA. We're fucking amazing. We're fucking amazing.
I was just on a conference call with some Latin groups, and one of them was Latins and Hispanic for Trump. They had the audacity for me to ask me would I make some videos to try to get the black people to come to the Latino side on a protest against Donald Trump and what he's doing to the Latin people in Los Angeles. And now Donald Trump is asking for the governor of California to be arrested. And I'm on the phone, I'm listening to these people. And so one of my friends, "What's up, Swole? Are you going to help us?" I told him no. I said, "You the same person last year mocked me because I was back in Harris. You the same person. You are the same people that voted for this man. Millions of Latin and Hispanics voted for Donald Trump. The black community is not helping y'all. I'm not helping y'all. I'm not protesting. I'm not doing no videos or anything like that. For the Latin community and for the Hispanic community that was backing Donald Trump, this is y'all problem, not our problem. And no, I'm not making any videos for any Hispanic or Latin protests against Donald Trump. Y'all voted for him. He's y'all problem. Y'all go ahead and protest and do whatever y'all got to do. But I'm sorry, black people are not getting, we're not getting involved with this. You voted for the wrong person. Now live with it.
Let's start with the facts. Project 2025 is not some fringe theory. It's a published political strategy by the Heritage Foundation and Trump-aligned conservatives, and it lays out in chilling detail plans to restructure the federal government, expand executive power, purge civil servants, target immigrants, and militarize immigration enforcement through ICE and Homeland Security. Now here's the kicker. Black folks read it. We saw it. We talked about it. That's part of why so many Black Americans voted for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, even with their complicated records, because we saw what the alternative looked like. We weren't voting for perfection. We were voting for survival. Meanwhile, huge chunks of the Latino community, particularly in South Florida, Texas, and parts of California, went red. Loudly. Proudly. Some even made a Voy a Voter por Donald Trump song. It went viral. People were dancing and remixing it like it was some cultural anthem. And now, ICE vans are rolling through neighborhoods. Families are being torn apart. And the same communities that once sang that song are now asking for solidarity.
As a white person, as a black person, as anyone, how?
So I was going to put this as a comment, but you already have thousands of comments on there, and I didn't think you would probably see it. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and stitch this for other people who have the same thought process as you. It's not that black people don't see this as a problem. We know it's a problem. We know it's an issue. We're just tired. We told you. We told you, and not you as specifically you. We told you as the country what is going to happen. We knew this was going to happen, and people still voted him into office. You don't need to talk to black people and ask black people where we are and why we aren't doing anything and why we aren't standing up. Because black people have always been standing up. Black women have always been standing up. We're the ones that show up and show out every single time. We're the ones that when people go out to a party, that was the latest conversation. When people go to a party, they don't feel comfortable with a group of people around unless they see black people there, black women around. They tell their children, if you're in trouble, to go find a big black man because they know that person's going to help and take care of them. We know. We are tired of carrying everyone on our backs. That is what's going on. We are not standing up in the streets and protesting this because why? You say in that video, what if your family members were one day gone and you couldn't do anything about it? It happens to us on a daily basis. On a daily basis, our family members are getting slaughtered by police for nothing. Because of a black man getting killed by police, the largest Black Lives Matter movement in history around the world occurred because of black people. This is happening because of your people. Your people voted for him. Look at those numbers for who showed up and voted for Trump. Hispanics for Trump, Latinos for Trump. Those are the people who voted for him. We did our part. That is why you aren't seeing us in the street. It's not that we don't lack empathy or compassion. It's that we are tired. We have been there, done that. You also talk about how you are being hunted down and treated like animals. Let's not forget the pan-Atlantic slave trade that happened with black people. And once we were released from slavery, we were then used as experimentation for medical advancements. We were treated like treated inhumane. We were treated like animals. That is why we are tired. And the generation of the people we have right now, like me talking, is because we are not our ancestors. We are not going to be repeating the exact same things that happened to us and allowing for you all to sit here and run us over. You guys did not do what you had to do to show up and show out and vote. I don't care. I don't know who you voted for. I don't care who you voted for. It's the Hispanic community as a whole. That's who you need to be talking to. You don't need to come over here and bring black people into it, and why aren't black people, and how could you not feel this way if you were white or black? Have empathy. Black people have empathy. We know, but we've been there and we're done that, and we're tired. And so that's where we stand on this. And then on your first video, your part 1 video, you also said you just want to go back to how things were. You just wanted to go back to when there was peace. If you think that there was ever peace, that shows a privilege that you have. That is a privilege that you had as not being black in America, because there was never peace for us. Never. We could never walk into any workspace and feel 100% comfortable. We could never just walk outside our houses and feel 100% comfortable. We don't know what's going on. I'm 34 years old. As a child, I'm taught, if you get pulled over by if you see police trying to pull you over, don't just pull off to the side of the road. Pull into a parking lot, a gas station where it's well lit, because you don't know who's going to pull you over. You don't know what that police officer is going to do to you. You don't know what that person at work is going to do to you. That is what we deal with on a daily basis. So no, we have empathy. We understand. But we're not going to go parade in the street anymore, because that is somebody else's turn. And I hope that you hear what I'm saying and you take that in, and you go and you talk to your people. You talk to other people about it. You guys go out in the street and you protest to get him impeached and to turn all of these things over that are happening with ICE, because that's not our job anymore. We are done. We are tired. I hope and I wish you well, but it's not our job.
Now let's get uncomfortable. Because one of the reasons many black folks are saying no right now is rooted in the long, painful history of selective solidarity. When black communities were in the streets for George Floyd, for Breonna Taylor, for Elijah McClain, for justice, many Latino folks were silent. Or worse, some distanced themselves. We saw it with our own eyes. Latinx influencers online mocking BLM. Latino-owned businesses putting up All Lives Matter signs. Some communities refusing to speak up even when black people were being killed in broad daylight. Where was the solidarity then? And let's be real, some of that silence wasn't just political apathy. It was anti-blackness. Period. In Latino households, from abuelas to parents to cousins, anti-black language and attitudes are way too common. It's the uncomfortable truth that many Latinos still haven't reckoned with. So now, when black folks are being asked to help protest raids and detention centers, it feels like a one-sided relationship. A relationship where we show up for others, but when we're bleeding, it's crickets.
Down south wasn't the only place that drove out black people from certain areas just because they were black. That happened in Los Angeles too. Boyle Heights. See, they bombed housing developments with black families in them. And if you don't know what a housing development is, it's basically the projects, a row of apartments all in a certain section. And they firebombed these apartments because of black families being there. Just simply race motivated, race driven. And not only black Americans, they did it to Afro Latinos. That's why I'm like, when Afro Latinos be fighting for their life to be Latino, they don't see you as Latino. They see you as black. This is how heartless they are. They did this all on Mother's Day. On Mother's Day. And mind you, these people were not active gang members. These were people struggling, low income people. And you know who they replaced these people with, these black families with? Latino families. In certain sections of LA County, they're still like sundown towns. You can't be out there after dark if you black. And these erasure campaigns, black erasure campaigns, been going on since the 90s.
What if the idea of black and brown unity is just another lie we tell ourselves to feel safer in a system that was never built for us? Survival ain't the reason they don't side with us. It's preference. Think about it. In prisons, they don't roll with us. On the job sites, they don't hire us. In their homes, they don't want us dating their daughters. And in the courtroom, they often vote for policies against us. But my people want to cling to the few who march like it erases the ones who mock. And before you say that's not all of them, ask one of your Mexican partners what mejora la raza means. It means to improve the race. But improve it how? By whitening it. By erasing blackness. Go on and sit with that for a minute. They dance to our music, they talk like us, they move into our neighborhoods, and we let them. Then they gatekeep jobs, culture, and even respect, and we let them. This ain't about racism, man. It's about rivalry, because nobody imitates what they pity. They imitate what they envy, and deep down they know what we got can't be copied. So maybe it ain't hate. Maybe it's hidden competition. Maybe it ain't ignorance. Maybe it's inherited bias. Or maybe blacks was never meant to look for allies. Just remember who we are. I love my people. I hope y'all safe out there, and I hope you get home safe. And y'all have a good day.
Here's another pattern: blame shifting. Instead of confronting MAGA supporters in their own communities, many Latinos, not all, but enough, have historically redirected frustration toward black people. We saw this after the 2020 election. Instead of facing the fact that millions of Latinos voted for Trump, some Latino media figures tried to twist the narrative. Black people didn't turn out enough, or black folks didn't save us from Trump. It's delusional. Black Americans consistently vote Democrat at a rate higher than any other group. In many swing states, it was the black vote that carried Biden and Harris to victory. Meanwhile, Latino votes for Trump increased in 2020. The numbers don't lie. And when ICE came knocking when the Project 2025 rollout began, suddenly the conversation changed from, "We don't trust Democrats," to "Black people, help us fight this." But solidarity isn't a fire extinguisher you break out only when your house is burning. It's a system you build when the whole neighborhood is at risk. And black folks have been warning for years that Trumpism isn't just a political wave, it's a weapon.
So I'm in my accountability era. I think we all need to be held accountable for our actions. I think right now is a time where everyone is trying to find someone to blame and shift blame, but nobody is calling out those who are responsible. And that's important. Like, accountability is very important. Because getting sidetracked and like it's all what they call smoke screens. Getting sidetracked and not addressing the issues is not going to change the solution. Like, change come about when we all acknowledge our wrongdoings and no one is acknowledging or taking responsibility for their actions. Latinos are waiting for other Latino content creators to come out and say something about the injustices that's happening, when the truth is, you need to be asking Latino men who largely voted for this, voted against their family. Ask them why they thought it was okay for this to happen to other Latinos, not thinking that it would happen to them. Talk about the leopard eating your face. Talk to other Latina women who followed their men. Talk to, well, not too many black men did this. So black women, we don't have to talk to black men. White women, too many out. You know what? This situation reminds me of the time of the pussycat hats. I remember I was at the first pussycat march in Washington, D.C. The first time it happened. And to me, I thought there were too many white women out there who had supported Trump the first time and now they out there with their pussycat hats. But then there were black women who had banners. And one of the black women that I saw, one of them had a banner that said, "How many of y'all white women voted for this? We out here because of y'all." And I remember seeing that banner, initially laughing as I walked by reading it. And then the more I thought about it, it made me think like, yo, she is right. We out here because of them. And they out here wearing their fucking pussycat hats like they're blameless. And they're not. So let's call out everyone that's doing this. Because if they don't see their wrongs, how are they ever gonna know what their actions have caused? ICE just didn't pop up. ICE was called to order by people's votes. Latinos, no one is targeting you just because it's Tuesday and they ain't got shit to do. That was the right that was reserved to black people. But you voted for this. A large majority of your people voted for this. Have you asked them why? The question still needs to be asked of why. We need answers so we can fix the problems. I need understanding. Here's the problem, right? Because everyone is talking, but no one is trying to address the problem. We have another election coming up. I'm going to let the protesters protest. Black people, we protest all the time. So I'm going to let the protesters protest. But I would like to be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem. So I have some questions. Here's the questions that I have. So we know that 47% of Latino men voted for Trump. And 38% of Latina women voted for Trump. But let's talk age, shall we? Because this is important. New voters, 18 to 29. 45% of 18 to 29-year-old Latinos voted for Trump. Why is this? 18 to 29, these are new voters. 45%. The 30 to 44-year-old, 44%. 44% of the younger generation voted for this. 45 to 64, 48%. So that's in my generation. My generation of Latino men, my age, voted for that shit in my age group. 45 to 64. And then 65 plus, 41% voted for this. These are questions that we need to find the answers to. So can we start talking to our people? Can Latinos please start talking to Latino men and find out what the fuck is going on? Don't talk to the women because they're dumb. They're just going to follow their men. But the root of the problem is the Latino men. 18 to 29, that fucking 45% of them? That's crazy. Now, let's talk income base of Latinos. People who make under $50,000, 54% of the pobrecitos, the fucking poor people, the impoverished, the so-called bottom of the feeder workers that make under $50,000 a year, 54% of them voted for this. Why? You're fucking poor. You should be nowhere near the Republicans. The Republicans don't give a fuck about you. $50,000 to $99,000 a year. 44% of them voted for this. And people who make $100,000 a year and more, 54% voted. So let me do the statistics because I think I got it wrong. 50% are under, $50,000 a year or under. 54% of Latinos voted for that. $55,000 to $99,000 a year. 44% voted for that. And Latinos who make over $100,000 a year, 54% voted of that. So the Latinos who make over $150,000, think that they are better than people. But the poor ass Latinos, 54% of them, so the poorest group of Latinos, and so the poor and the higher group of Latinos with an income, it was equal. So the Latinos who are poor think that if they vote for Donald Trump or the Republican that they're going to get more money. And the Latinos who have money think that they're too good to vote. Come on. It's fucking crazy. If you want to check out these stats, you can go to AS-COA. And it's giving you all the Latino stats. All the Latino stats. I'm a Latina, so I care about how my people vote. But the problem isn't like, for me, I'm not going to focus on the riots and all of that stuff. They have enough people doing that. I need to figure out how we can do better in 2028. Because believe it or not, I still don't believe that people are learning the lessons that they need to learn right now. Regardless of like what's happening. They're not learning. They would do this shit again. Someone went to Little Havana in Miami to talk to the Cubanos while they were playing dominoes about what was going on. And majority of their response was, I don't feel that it's right what's happening, but I will still support Trump. And this was the 65 and over crew. When are we going to stop voting against ourselves? And how are we going to do that? These are questions that I have. These are questions for people who are running the country and who are running for government should have. The problem that we're having right now is the 18 to 29 and the 33 and the 30 to 44, because these are the people that's going to be running the country and making decisions for me when I am too old to do them for myself. These are the problems that we need to solve. The damage is already done. You guys voted for this. Now I need an understanding of why this is happening and how we can do better. These are the questions that I would like to have answered. And anyone with a half a brain should be with me. Everything else right now is happening because y'all voted for this.
This is the part that hurts, but it's the part we have to name. Anti-Blackness is deeply embedded in many Latino communities. It shows up in families, in media, in jokes, in beauty standards, in dating preferences, in how Afro-Latinos are treated within their own communities. From the Caribbean to Central America, from Mexico to the US, there's a long history of distancing from Blackness, of seeing proximity to whiteness as success, and Blackness as something to suppress or escape. That's why you'll hear things like Majora La Raza, improve the race, or see parents get nervous when their kids date someone Black. And it's why many Latino voters had no issue supporting Trump even after he called African nations *third countries. They didn't feel targeted by that. Because anti-Blackness allowed them to believe they weren't part of the problem, that it wasn't their fight. But here's the reality check. When ICE comes, they don't care if you voted for Trump. They don't care how light your skin is. The system you helped empower is now coming for you. And now, the same people your community dismissed are supposed to come running to help? That's not how justice works. That's not how trust is rebuilt.
My thing is, why everybody want black people to step in like we the only people of color now? Everybody was just minorities and people of color yesterday. Why y'all just want us to help? And I'm not even saying that we won't or we shouldn't, but is every other person of color being held to this same standard? Just wondering.
Black people in LA, mind your business. Black people in LA, mind your business. This don't got nothing to do with us. ICE and the National Guard being in LA has nothing to do with us. I don't understand rallying behind a whole bunch of people that hard ER you. They don't even like you for real. Everybody want to make their problems our problems. It's tired. It's tired. This don't got nothing to do with us. Sit there, watch, look. Don't go out there. Go home. Go watch the NBA finals. Go do something that's black related. Go have a cookout. Go do something black. Like, this don't got nothing to do with us.
So where do we go from here? First, let's be clear, not all Latinos are the same. Many have been on the front lines. Afro-Latinos, indigenous Latinos, working-class immigrants. Many have always been in solidarity with Black communities. This conversation isn't about them. It's about those who were silent, who voted for cruelty, who ignored history, who only speak up when their privilege is threatened. If Latino communities want real solidarity from Black Americans, it has to start with truth, with accountability, with publicly naming and confronting anti-Blackness, with showing up before the crisis hits, and with stopping the pattern of guilt-tripping Black folks into being everyone's saviors. Because truth be told, Black America has been protesting. We've been warning. We've been organizing. And we're tired of showing up for people who don't show up for us. So if you want solidarity, start by standing in the truth. Start by owning the past. And start by building the kind of allyship that isn't transactional, but transformational. Look, this episode wasn't about shaming anyone. It's about truth-telling. And if you've made it this far, that means you're willing to listen, or at least sit with the discomfort. That's where healing starts. But to all the Latino folks waking up right now to the danger of Project 2025, understand this. Black people warned you. Black people showed up. And if you want us to show up again, it's got to be different this time. It can't be another one-sided struggle. It can't be another cycle of silence and betrayal. Because we're not just fighting against a system. We're fighting for the kind of coalition that could actually save this country, if people are finally willing to be honest. That's it for today. Think about it. Talk about it. Sit with it. And if it made you uncomfortable, that's the beginning. Adios.